What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubt. And I have my doubt that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Sorry I had to get my volume up. I changed how I turn my volume down for my voice for the monitor here, because otherwise you'll hear an echo. So anyway, just trying to pull my head back out of my butt. Man, oh man. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. I did switch it over once, I thought. Apparently, I still got my head up my butt. Anyway, I am kind of beat, yo. Last couple of days, I've been pretty busy. I didn't even get a chance. I was going to take a peek-see at the weather, because I know towards the end of the forecast, they're talking about 60s again. Jerk faces. So anyway, today I don't know what it got up to, but it was supposed to be getting up to 88. Got a little warm. I had a bunch of stuff I did inside today. Yesterday I did a bunch of stuff outside, and then tomorrow I got a bunch of stuff both inside and outside. So gonna try to get stuff rearranged again. My problem is I get so many projects started, and I'll be somewhere within the project, and then I'll be working on another project. And so it doesn't take long, especially through the winter, that things get a little bit behind. So anyway, got quite a bit that got to get done as far as organizing tomorrow. I'll be so glad for that, because it's getting a little crowded in here. So I need to get some heaters out. Not these heaters yet, not the oil heaters yet, but the diesel heater I'll get out. I've got a bunch of plant stuff I need to get out. That was one of the tasks I did today. I got the tent going today, the big grow tent. Got it going today, and that was a job. That was a job, getting that thing all cleaned up, getting it all ready. Tomorrow, like I said, I got a bunch of stuff related to the grow tents that I got to get out. Stuff related to the diesel heater and stuff related to that. It's a lot of stuff got to get done. I'm so glad though that the weather's getting better and I'm able to do this stuff. But man, am I whooped. I am as whooped as it gets. So anyway, I don't have any articles up per se, because I was a little late getting stuff started, and I just figured we would just kind of go through it like a timeline and kind of gear this a little bit more towards what's going on with Iran and Israel. I didn't come on and make a video or go live or anything like that, and the reason why, because I'm not an emotional pansy. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to get out there every single day like all these YouTube channels. Oh my God. That is so stupid. It is unreal. Not going to do it. I refuse. Now, if I would have really foreseen nukes coming at us or something like that, yeah, I would. But right at this point, no. Could this lead to that? Oh, hell yeah, it could. But not at this point. And I'm not quite sure how much the U.S. would be involved in that anyway. And that's part of what we're going to talk about. I really, to be honest, I was kind of looking over stuff right before the show, trying to get a bearing on where the situation was, because, of course, you know that Iran attacked Israel, and I was looking to see, the supposedly, I shared out headlines. We'll see them. Israel had, well, it didn't say they attacked Iran. It said that they struck deep into Lebanon. So I guess that's the little carrot, if you will. Supposedly, though, they were getting ready. I mean, they were right there on the line to go strike Iran, and I'm assuming that means directly. And I guess Biden got him to take his finger off the trigger. Now, and again, I have to make this very clear. I am not 100% sure of all the timeline here as when what thing took place. So, at this particular moment, I don't know if it's game on or game off as far as Israel is concerned. What I will say is this. I do think it matters the U.S. stance, but at the same time, I don't think it matters the U.S. stance. Because here's the deal. If Netanyahu does nothing, the chances of his party or whatever, winning the elections or what have you, are going to be pretty slim to none. That's been something that's been talked about quite a bit here recently. He's got people in his party that are really pushing him to strike and to strike hard. And all kinds of people are pushing for him to strike and to strike hard. Now, I know this ain't going to make me the most popular fella, but I do agree, and I'm not going to say with Biden's stance. Come on, let's get real. With whoever Biden's handlers are, whoever's telling him what to do, I do think that it's better that they abstain, because I really honestly think this is a setup. If what we are seeing is the real deal and it's not just a circus sideshow to entertain us, I think it's a setup. I think Iran wants to do more. Again, if all this is as it's supposed to appear, I think Iran wants to do more. I think Israel wants to do more. And so they're going to do this little do-si-do up to what I think will be a major conflict. Now, just because the United States says that, and when I say the United States, I mean whoever's controlling Biden, whoever's holding the remote control, the leadership of pretty much all the nations on this planet are frickin' idiots. None of this makes sense to me. And I just, it doesn't make sense to me. There's a whole hell of a lot of us. And I've talked to a whole hell of a lot of people throughout my life. And when it comes to things like conflict and stuff, most people really aren't interested in that. As in, they're not wanting it. Right? Most people just want to be able to go about their life however that is that they see fit, whether that's with a family, whether that's whatever. And they really, there's not a whole lot of people out there that are hell-bent to go fight in a war. I've not really met that many people. I have met people that have that mindset, and I'll just say I've met them. But for the most part, no. We all just want to go about our lives however we see fit, and that's it. So when I look at this stuff that's going on between nations, I really ask a lot of questions because, let's be real. They always want to throw up how they're fighting for our freedom. And I'm not knocking military members. Please understand. I'm knocking the government. They always want to talk about how they're fighting for our freedom. When the hell is the last war that they've actually fought for our freedom? Does anybody know? This could actually be a trick question, probably. The last war that was fought for freedom in this country was actually, if you want to be technical about it, the Civil War. But the only war other than that would be the Revolutionary War. And that's it. Oh, but what about World War II and the Japanese and Pearl Harbor? Oh, yeah, that event that we pretty well nailed down. Was it just like 9/11? It was at least, in the very least, known about ahead of time. And there was a whole series of other events, and I don't want to go down conspiracy roads here. But even then, not that I'm casting off Hawaii or nothing, but that's Hawaii, not the lower 48. So, I just have a hard time saying that was a battle for us for freedom. And I'm not saying it wasn't for others, and I'm not saying we shouldn't have gotten involved in it. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is it wasn't our freedom we were fighting. By the way, I don't play the game. I don't buy the game. Oh, if we didn't beat them then they would be here today. Can you tell how I feel about that statement? I mean, really? Really? Anyway. I guess enough rhetoric about why I question war. It's the things that make you go, Or as they would say in Tropic Thunder, the things that make you go full retard. Anyway. Man. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up some War News 24/7 articles. And we're going to try to get a little bit of a feel for what's going on. Let me refresh the page just in case something's new. I am so glad, by the way, that they're back. They're not just back, but they are kicking ass. As usual, doing a really, really good job. So, I think that this is actually the latest. So, in other words, game off. Okay? Follow me here. However, there is a whole lot of Iran must pay talk that's going on. And so, let's go here. Refresh it. Israeli minister says Iran's attack gives us the right to hit it with unprecedented force. Now, I don't know if you've recognized this or not, but the word unprecedented gets constantly used over and over and over, right? It's almost annoying as, out of an abundance of caution, Unprecedented. I mean, how is that? Am I supposed to feel like an extra something when you say that? Because I don't. Anyway. And by the way, that is what those words are supposed to do. They're supposed to emotionally affect you in whichever way that they want to try to throw your feelers, I don't have so much feelers anymore. Israel's culture minister, Miki Zohar, noted that the attack on Israel gives Jerusalem the right to launch its own powerful attack on Iran. Israel received broad international legitimacy to strike Iran with unprecedented force, he said in a statement, adding that Iran's extremist regime has taken off its gloves and that Israel must not go easy on the head of the snake. Hey now, keep that out of it. I thought the father was against that. who works to destroy Israel. At the same time, Israel's ambassador to the UN, Gilad Erdan, addressed the UN Security Council, Antonio Guterres, with very harsh language. Now stop! Oh, no, it wasn't that. Using the word wake up. Wake up! Wake up! You can't sleep in! Anyway, he called Guterres to condemn Iran for the attack carried out tonight in Israel. Stop it! Iran has Iran has violated the UN Charter and has shown itself to be a threat to global peace and security. Where is your voice? Where is your conviction? Wake up, he wrote in his post. Dun dun dun. And again, what's the whole condemn thing, right? And there is so much ignorance. You have to condemn them. All right. Israel's foreign ministry says Iran must pay a price for its attack. And there's that word again, huh? Unprecedented. Iran must pay a price for its attack on Israel, the Israeli foreign ministry said in a statement posted on Twitter, adding that the first step should be the immediate designation of the Revolutionary Guards as a terrorist organization. You see how that works? Next, they'll be designating, parents that show up at the, teacher conference that, or the whatever, the PTA meetings and whatnot. They're going to be the next, too late. They already were marked that, weren't they? By the way, so I don't forget, because I know me, and I will, tomorrow night there won't be a show, and that's because I'll be dealing with the city council meeting here, so recording it and whatnot. So just so I don't forget, because I know I will otherwise, tomorrow night there will not be a show. Anyway, continuing on. At the same time, he also called for painful sanctions to be imposed on Iran in the field of weapons and other critical areas. Stop it! The announcement in detail. Last night, Iran launched a large-scale and unprecedented attack consisting of hundreds of drones, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles against the state of Israel. The attack, which originated from Iranian soil, was complemented by additional terrorist attacks by militias in Iraq, the Houthis in Yemen, and Hezbollah in Lebanon, which targeted the state of Israel. This attack, once again, proves what Israel has been saying for years. Iran is behind terrorist attacks in the region and is also the biggest threat to regional stability and world order. Iran attacked Israel and has attacked the Gulf states in the past, threatens Jordan, threatens the U.S., sends weapons for use in the war in Ukraine, and endangers world peace. This is precisely why Iran should never acquire nuclear weapons. Well, I hate to tell you, homie, but it's a little late on that. Have you been sleeping? Strong condemnations, not strong condoms, those are made by Trojan, of the brutal Iranian attack were heard from around the world tonight. The world stands with Israel. No, maybe you do, homie, but I'm not choosing a side. Why? Because I'm not supposed to. Okay, don't get upset. Anyway. Iran must pay its price for its aggression. The initial price must be the immediate recognition of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, which launched last night's massive terror attack as a terrorist organization. Following Iran's ballistic missile, cruise missile, and drone attack, painful sanctions must be imposed on Iran, including in the missile sector. Like any other country, Israel has the right to defend itself against a massive attack by Iran. Israel has successfully defended itself against Iran's attack and will continue to do so in the future. So, I do want to answer something, because I've heard heard multiple comments made about it, and maybe they don't understand war strategy or something. I don't know. But let me explain why Iran did things like they did. So I've heard many channels talk about how Iran sent these slow-ass drones that took hours to get there, and it didn't make no sense. Well, let me make it make sense. So here's the thing. Let's say you've got 10 missile defense systems, right? Each capable of defending one whatever. And you send 12 objects. I said the word objects because the reason why they sent those drones in first is because they would need to use those defense systems against those drones. Okay? They don't just magically reload. The people have to actually reload those systems. So there is a little bit of a time there that you have to deal with. Not only that, but Lord knows how much each and every one of those damn things cost. So that's also another hit. Just the fact that you make them spend so much money on that defense. That's a secondary cause and effect. The whole idea is to overwhelm the system. And you can't launch everything at the same time because then your plan won't work. You have to launch the slow stuff first. And yeah, they're going to know it's coming. That's not the point. They're going to know it's coming regardless. Even if you just launched nothing but hypersonic missiles at them. They're still going to know it's coming before it gets there. The whole idea of that was to overwhelm the systems. That's why. It's not that they really expected to do a bunch of damage with the drones, because they didn't. They wanted the drones to be the dummies, the decoys, and try to tie up as many systems as what they could. And they probably did want some of the cruise missiles to make a mark, and I don't know how successful that was. But even then, that wasn't their ace in the hole. Their ace in the hole was the ballistic missiles. That's what they were counting on to hit their mark. And I couldn't tell you how many of their ballistic missiles made it to the mark versus how many didn't. I have no idea. But I do know that witnesses were saying that just at the one airbase alone, there appeared to be 7 missile strikes, and that's what was being reported yesterday. So that's a fair amount, and that emphasizes my point about overwhelming the system. Because how many of their anti-air systems had to be fired at, or anti-missile system, had to be fired at drones and cruise missiles to be able to allow those 7 in that one area to get through. So that's why they do that. It's just to overwhelm the system. You're not going to sneak attack anybody to begin with. So there's no point in trying to think you can sneak attack them. If you were a nation that was bordered up to another nation, and yeah, you could probably sneak something in. But that's not the case here. Something like India, China, they could very much so sneak something in on one another. Not Israel and Iran. Anywho, I do want to read this. I saw this, and I didn't know what it had to say. Let's see what The Guardian has to say, what their thoughts are. It says here, Guardian analysis, the fate of the Middle East hangs in the balance. The prospect of a major regional war in the Middle East hangs in the balance, the British Guardian reports in its analysis. Iran is clearly hoping for such a mild response In a message delivered through its UN delegation, Tehran suggested hopefully that in the wake of its retaliation, this issue can be considered over. Both Biden and the Iranians are well aware that Netanyahu would ideally like to destroy Iran's nuclear facilities, which he has long viewed as an existential threat to Israel. However, turning them into ruins would be very difficult without American help, but it is possible that he and other Israeli hawks could try to use this opportunity to realize this ambition. NBC News reported Saturday night that some top administration officials are concerned that Israel could do something quickly in response to Iran's attacks without thinking about the possible consequences. Government officials are well aware that Netanyahu is motivated to continue the hostilities as it prevents the collapse of his coalition and new election. That's what I was talking about a while ago. While the damage to Israel was minimal, Israeli officials could argue that this was not due to Tehran, but due to the reliability of Israeli air defenses and its allies, mainly in the U.S., UK, and Jordan. Jordan risked drawing condemnation from the Arab world for intercepting some of Iran's drones as they crossed its airspace. So, I want to say this. How can they say that, it's because they're a defense system? I don't know what it was that Iran had hit on that airbase. They're not claiming that they hit anything big, but you have to understand, most of the time, these countries won't tell you if they took a big hit. If they can avoid from telling you, from letting that out, they won't do it. So we actually have no idea how bad the attack was. It's kind of one of those things where, and that doesn't make sense either. Because if Netanyahu really wanted to go after him, why doesn't he say they were hit like horrible? I don't know. So much of this stuff is like a bad B movie. Like maybe a C plus movie. If even that. I don't know. You know, I read this stuff and I think about it. And so much of it, there are some things that make sense, but for the most part, it really doesn't. There's so many contradictory things. It's unreal. Anyway, it says, let's see, the joint action prepared in the week before the Iranian attack almost certainly saved lives and may have prevented a wider war. It could also serve as a reminder of Israel's dependence on the U.S. for the security of Israelis. In the short term, Washington can take solace from some indications that any Israeli response will at least not be immediate. Israel has requested that the UN Security Council be convened over the attack, which will take place today. It would be surprising if a counterattack was launched before this meeting. So, have a couple of vapes. I don't, oh, wow. I didn't even have that. I'm sorry. I didn't even have that article on your screen. Sorry, I was reading that on a totally different screen. Anyway, that was the article that I was reading just then. I don't know. Now, this was posted on the 15th. So this is after this. Israel War Council, they approved a retaliatory strike. But of course, U.S., at least for now, it would appear, has postponed it. So, and I say it that way because I think that's all it could be at most is a postponement. I don't think that they're just going to completely cancel it. So, I'll read this article and we'll just run through the headlines and make it. I'm beat. U.S. officials, we canceled Israel's fifth attack on Iran. Netanyahu wants to drag us into a major regional conflict. Says here, U.S.-Netanyahu relations are at an extremely critical point, a fact that may negatively affect Israel's next military moves. On the U.S. side, there are fears of a hidden agenda by Netanyahu, who seems to be out of control. They say this because Israel did not inform the U.S. even about the attack on the Iranian embassy in Damascus. According to U.S. sources, Netanyahu would ideally like to destroy Iran's nuclear facilities, which he has long considered an existential threat to Israel. Read that earlier. Besides U.S. administration officials, we are well aware that Netanyahu is motivated to continue the hostilities as it prevents the collapse of his coalition and new elections. Read that earlier as well. As American officials are revealing shocking details of the conversation between the two presidents and are now openly expressing fears that Israel is trying to drag the U.S. into a general war in the region. According to U.S. sources, Biden and his team canceled the Israeli attack on Iran literally at the last minute, but they're not sure that can happen again. According to a report in the New York Times, the Israelis were ready to respond at dawn to Iran's strike. But Joe Biden was alerted to called Netanyahu. The U.S. president convinced him not to make the strike so early, not to rush. As the result of the Iranian attack was zero, only minor material damage was done, and Israel essentially came out victorious. For these reasons, he said, it would be better for Israel to wait. The U.S. president also told the Israeli prime minister that Israel has demonstrated an admirable ability to confront and overcome even the most unexpected attacks by sending a clear message to its enemies that they cannot effectively threaten Israel's security. According to U.S. and Israeli sources, senior U.S. defense and security officials have made it clear to the Israeli government that while the United States believes that Israel has the freedom of action to defend itself, the U.S. will have no involvement in any military action or response against Iran. Biden stressed to Netanyahu that the U.S. would not participate in any aggressive operation against Iran. Now, let me unpack this a little bit, because I really do feel like there's a lot of people out there that don't understand. They don't really know. And I don't know. You say it's no fault of their own, but I know. So, and all I did was take an interest to want to know the truth. That's it. I mean, I don't have no magic crystal balls or nothing. I just pay attention. So, there's a damn good reason why the United States isn't itching to take on Iran. It is a fact. It's not a guess. It is a fact that any ships that we have in the nearby area would be toast, like faster than you could imagine. We know that. The Pentagon knows that. Iran, regardless of the propaganda you've been filled with, has some pretty good military technology on their side, especially when it comes to short and medium range missiles. Iran has the most sophisticated short and medium range missiles of any nation on the planet. So while it's all great and all to beat our chests and talk about how Iran's just a bunch of cave-dwelling idiots, that's not the truth. There are men and women that have to put their lives on the line to fulfill other people's ego and pride. That's foolish. There's a reason. And it's not that, Iran would kick our ass. No, I didn't say that. But any ships that we had in the region would damn well be history in short order. We know it. They know it. I'm going to be real honest. Netanyahu doesn't care. Netanyahu does have his own agenda. He doesn't care. He'll bring the entire planet down to get what he wants. And I think we're going to watch something similar to that play out. So, remember, that Bible's got this nifty way of being accurate. I wonder why. I wonder why it says what it says about Israel in the end. And that they get destroyed. And by whom? And by the way, don't necessarily think that that means that God's going to come down out of the clouds and whip out a wand and poof and Israel's gone. No. And then turn around the next day and talk about how God guided the surgeon's hands throughout an operation. Right. The Father uses us, the people on this planet, to fulfill his will. So, whenever it does happen, as biblically prophesied, that Israel gets taken out, it's not going to be God coming down and smacking them on the head with a cane. It's going to be a nation that obliterates them, wipes them out. So why is it mentioned about God and because it's not that God can't do these things. But in most cases, God don't do these things. God just doesn't stop them from happening to you. Yes, God can intervene at any time with anything. But it doesn't mean he will. And a lot of it depends on how you have been acting. Spoiler alert. Why do you think I shaped my act up? Because I was being a dirtball, and I got dirtballed. And I don't want that again. And I can tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that ever since I've taken this mindset for the last 10 years, I have watched as people's attempts towards me just fall flat. I have watched the Father put me in places, physically, literally, to literally stare into the living room of somebody that thought that they were going to be cute right here locally. I kid you not. I think I've talked about it before. Not going to go into it now. But I've seen it firsthand. All it means is that he won't stop it. So, this whole Israel getting taken out thing that's in the Bible might be by Iran. It's not going to be God coming down with a magic wand or a cane or whatever. That's not how it'll happen. Just wanted to clear that up. Let's see. According to U.S. and Israeli sources, senior U.S. defense and security officials have made it clear to the Israeli government that while the United States... Oh, wait, I did read that one. Sorry. Biden stressed to Netanyahu that the U.S. would not participate in any aggressive operation against Iran. The U.S. president told Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu in their phone call on Saturday that he must think carefully and strategically about the risk of regional escalation as a result of the Israeli retaliation to the Iranian attack. This was admitted a while ago by Dr. Jacques Neria. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. from the think tank Jerusalem Center, who emphasized that the U.S. does not want to be surprised again. They fear an Israeli backlash that could drag the U.S. into a regional war. Well, yeah. But, so where we stand, and when I say we, I mean we and Iran and everybody else involved, I don't know. I would tell you, don't freak out. You know, I mean, first of all, freaking out's never going to be the answer. Never. So, get that out of your mind. Never the answer. If you are into preparedness, then you really shouldn't be freaking out. I mean, it doesn't mean that just because I'm not freaking out that I think that I've got all my bases covered and we're going to be... No, because it's not the case. I trust God. That's it. I trust that God's will be done. Whatever that means. Whether that means I die on day one, or whether that means that, I don't know, think of something crazy, and insert it there. But whatever it means, whatever His will is, I'm good with that. I'm going to do my part to try to make sure I'm as prepared as I can be. But nothing I do can guarantee anything. That's all up to Him. So don't freak out. But don't think that this is over. I don't think this is over. I think in a very large part, I think it's just really getting started. I really don't think that... I don't think this is going to go hot that quick. I do think that this could certainly be the catalyst that leads to that, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be overnight. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I apologize. But I don't think it's going to work out that quick. So there's a timeline, too, that we have to remember. And I'm thinking just a little too soon yet on that timeline. So, little. Not a lot, but a little. Anywho, I saw this article yesterday, and like, holy cow, it made me wonder if they were going to be trying to stir the pot again when it comes to the Bundy family. So I had to say something. Or I had to post it. I mean, I had to say something tonight. 10 years after armed standoff with federal agents, Bundy cattle are still grazing disputed rangeland. So it kind of makes it sound like they're trying to gig the federal government to go at them again, right? It's what it seems like to me. I don't know. And it leads out with the words revolutionist traditions stenciled in fresh blue and red paint mark a cement wall on a dry river wash, right? So it really seems like they're trying to poke some people here. Crazy. Just crazy. But I wanted to bring that up. That's where it was painted. It's crazy. Crazy. I shared this on one of the Patriots pages, and Cliven had liked where I shared it and what I had to say, because somebody else had commented about how they're one of the people that's in the picture. I think it was this. I'm pretty sure it was this article. But that ain't the picture. I think you have to share the article to see the picture. Yeah, let me exit. No, that ain't it either. Anyway, there's a gentleman that commented that he was one of the people in the picture, and I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, that's history right there. But Cliven liked that too, so. Anyway, I hope they're doing well, and I hope the federal government can go learn to fly a kite. So, and I mean that. And if you don't know why I said that way, then you missed a good man. Let's see. Oh, man. Let's see. U.S. helped Israel take down nearly all Iranian drones and missiles, says Biden. Iranian strikes on Israel, what's known so far. It's kind of like a recap article. Let's see. U.S. worried about possible Israeli counterattack on Iran, says NBC. Let's see. Punishment of Israel completed, says Tehran. Right, because that, and I caught that too when Iran flat out said it, we're done. We're done. At this point, we're calling it even. And that, I don't know. I look at stuff like that and it's just like, if what we see is really what's going on, I understand that. I get it. I get this stuff. I don't throw an emotional side or pride or ego or anything like that behind this stuff when I think about it, because that's foolishness. You have to just look at it completely detached and just look at it for the information, for the data. And I get it. I see that as being pretty square myself, to be real honest. I see that as being pretty square. Not quite. I'd still think that Iran got the losing end of it a little bit, considering they lost some of their big leaders. And at least it hadn't been reported that I know of that Israel lost anyone. I know that they said a boy was injured, but that's the only thing that I am aware of, is that one instance. So, we'll see. Netanyahu claims success in defeating Iranian attack. Let's see. Ukrainian citizens could have up to 5 million weapons, says Interior Minister. Biden told Netanyahu he won't support retaliation against Iran, says Axios. Ukrainian soldiers surrender in Donbass. U.S. Navy mocked over gun blunder. That's the one where the captain or commander of the ship or whatever had the scope on backwards. Come on. Stuff like that, it really emphasizes that we're not what we used to be. Russia responds to Iran's attack on Israel. Israel to coordinate response to Iranian attack with allies, says New York Times. Iran threatens Jordan, strong response to those who open their airspace to Israeli attacks. Let's see. Israel's superpower image in the Middle East. The doctrine of deterrence collapsed. Historic videos of Iranian drones over the parliament. German defense minister compares Putin to Hitler. Israel strikes deep inside Lebanon. That's what I was talking about. Trump blames Biden for Iranian attack on Israel. Zelensky to sign new mobilization bill this month, says senior MP. By the way, let's back up one. I think a lot of people are under the impression that Trump would be all gung-ho about wiping out Iran. I don't know that I would be so quick. I'm not, and maybe that's phrased wrong. I do think Trump would like the idea of wiping out Iran. But specifically, wiping out Iran over Israel right now, I think that Trump would have, to be real honest, a pretty damn close stance to what the U.S. is taking currently. Trump made it very clear that Israel is screwing up. He made that very clear the other day. And while I'm not saying that, there's an equal amount of love there between, say, Trump and Israel or Biden and Israel, there's not. There's a difference. There is also some serious, very serious human rights violations going on. And you can only ignore it for so long. And you've got a whole lot of other nations coming out and saying, hey, wait a minute here. You only ignore it for so long. There is definitely a motive that, an unspoken motive. And I think we've all known it, but an unspoken motive that's being fulfilled here. Or at least attempting to be fulfilled. Zelensky to sign new mobilization bill this month, says senior MP. Israeli military embellishes video of Iranian attack. Russia tells Israel to condemn Ukraine. Let's see. Israeli general pegs cost of defending against attack, says media. Netanyahu called off retaliation strikes after speaking to Biden, says New York Times. Iran its greatest threat to world order, says Israel. Actually, I'd have to turn that finger around. German transport minister threatens public with indefinite driving bans. Zelensky backs Israel. Of course. Republicans trust Trump over the Pentagon, says a poll. Well, yeah. Yeah. And I'm not a Trump fan. I'm the furthest thing from it. But, yeah. Hey. Any quote-unquote military force that lets cats walking around, I'd say cats, I mean dudes, walking around in dresses and high heels, I'm not trusting that organization. Sorry, not sorry. Western demands for UN to discuss Iran attack are hypocrisy, says Moscow. Ukrainian foreign minister publicly blackmails West over oil prices. Video showing Israeli fighters knocking down some Iranian drones. Iran's attack gives us the right to hit it. Oh, that was one of them I read. I think I covered that one too. I know I covered that one. This is when the Israeli War Council approved the retaliatory strike that Biden got him to call off. At least that's the claims. And lastly here, Middle East on verge of full-scale war, says UN. I don't think it's over. All I think that happened is I think maybe Biden or the U.S. government as a whole got him to take a breath. I don't by any means think that it's totally game off. I think it's just game off for right now. They're going to wait for the car to pass. I really do think Israel's going to strike back. And I do think that the longer that they take before they strike back, I really honestly think the harder they're going to hit. I really do. It's not going to end well. Because Iran's not just going to take it. I believe Iran 100% when they make the statement, don't do nothing, don't fafo. But Israel's going to be Israel, and they're going to fafo. And they're going to get their pee-pee schwacked. Why do I say this? Because I've read the Bible. Read the Bible. Israel does not come out on top. Israel is destroyed. Why is Israel destroyed? Because they once again stopped listening to the Father, and once again were trying to take more than what they were given. More than what they were supposed to have. You have to remember, they're trying to push out everything but the tribe of Judah. If you're not Jewish, they want to push you out. The tribe of Judah is not the only Semites. The tribe of Judah is not the only tribe of Israel. They're just one. Just one part. And they're currently trying to push out the other parts and or exterminate them. Why? Because the tribe of Judah wants the name, and I'm saying name, and I mean name, the name of Israel to themselves. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of these Arabs are Israel as well. They are Semite as well. A lot of people don't understand that. I wonder why that's not really pointed out. It's almost as if there's been a plan for a long time. No. Next he'll be telling us about the Great Deception. Blasphemy. No. Truth. Read the Bible. I read it, maybe? Don't let somebody else tell you what it says, including me. Anywho. That, I do believe, is it. I don't know of anything else. Remember, tomorrow night I won't be live. I will be back on Tuesday. So, no surprises there. I just don't want to try to rush anything with the whole... And then tomorrow, I'm going to be busy again tomorrow as far as throughout the day. And I'm tired and sore now, and I'm going to be even more so tomorrow night. So, I got a lot of stuff I want to get rearranged and squared away and stuff. While I can, because apparently I only got 2 or 3 more days of warm weather before it turns cool again. I want to make sure I've got everything done I want to get done. I do intend on making another video of perking coffee and making oatmeal. I was going to do it today, but I got too busy with other stuff with the wood stove. So, in an actual video of me doing it with the wood stove. So you guys can see that and see that wood stove work correctly. Because that video that I made, and I'm talking about the wood one, not the Coleman. The video that I made prior that I was using the wood stove, I threw sticks and stuff in there. Unprocessed sticks. I just, they were cut the right length. I just threw them in there. Bark and all. And the thing really couldn't get going well. I'm going to do another video and show you it running, how it's supposed to do it. Much different results, and you'll see. I'll show you. That thing is incredible. That's that wood stove, little stick stove, whatever you want to call that thing. Man, that thing is really incredible. It does a much better job than I even expected that it would do. So, I will be showing you that soon enough. So, I am out of here. I hope you all have a good evening. God willing, I'll be back Tuesday. Won't be tomorrow. And we'll see you then. So I appreciate you coming. Hope to see you Tuesday night. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.